Good morning, folks. Thought I'd take you all along today. It's been probably about a month and a half since we mowed some hay, been getting some good rain, put some fertilizer on, and we have 3 good days of weather, supposedly, so you all know what that means. We're gonna go ahead and hook up my Coon disc mower to my 990, but we'll go through and check some things first. Here's y'all another David Brown trick, if anybody ever fools with any. Got a spider web there showing up in the dew. This power steering reservoir and this power steering pump here, I believe is cam driven. There's a gasket that sometimes goes bad in there, and you can kind of tell if the gasket goes bad because you'll be losing power steering fluid, which I use motor oil. And it'll go back into the, it'll actually go back into the block in the oil pan. So make sure that if you have that gasket that's went bad, number one, if you have the time, just go ahead and fix it. Number two, if it's not that bad, it usually lasts in between oil changes for me. It usually never overfills the pan. But never use power steering fluid in these tractors. Always just use the same oil that you run in your engine. So we'll go ahead and find us some oil for that, and then we'll go ahead and be hooking up our disc mower. I could probably stand to use a drink of water too. That is literally the longevity of old equipment. If you're trying to farm with old equipment, is making sure that they at least have fluids in them. Even if they leak, at least make sure that they stay hydrated, as the saying goes. I left a bottle of Stay-Bill on the hood of this thing in the barn back this winter. Didn't touch the tractor about all winter and came back, and that bottle had leaked, and that stuff would eat up my paint on here. So we got oil put in a power steering pump reservoir. We got a little water put in it. I topped off the hydraulic fluid. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and sharpen up our blades. I'll show you all a quick trick that I like to do. You all have watched plenty of blade sharpening videos, so I won't spend too much time on this. But just an easy way to make sure that you all can hold the turtle shell. We'll go ahead and clean out some of this grass here. Always check to make sure the direction that your PTO is spinning, because that's the direction that you all need to sharpen your blades. Okay, so I know that mine spins this way, so we're going to sharpen this part of the blade right here. Now, you never want to hold these things with your hand while you're grinding them. So what I always do, I always take a pair of vice grips. Need to be tightened up a little. Take a pair of vice grips and you just set them on that blade. And let those vice grips hold that blade as you sharpen. Got our blade sharpened, gearbox is oiled up, everything ready in the tractor. We're gonna mow some hay. Now a lot of y'all are probably wondering why I may be mowing this time of year. I like to get 3 cuttings, and let's just be pretty point blank, I guess, about it. I've got 3 good days of weather on the Weather Channel. So we're hoping that everything goes good and goes smooth and I can get some of this put up. This has probably been about a month and a half, I think that's what I said earlier in the video, about a month and a half since I mowed. I'm sorry if I put up a lot of hay videos, but it seems to be like what people enjoy the most, so we'll just go ahead and get to it. For the 10th of July, this is pretty dang good stuff. So Aaron's papa was kind of one of those people that he had a little bit of everything. And so Aaron dug out that old Haybine from behind the barn. Hasn't probably been used in until how long. And he's greased her up, put some new lines and stuff on it, and he asked could he come up to my house and use it. I said, man, I don't care. I said, mow your heart out. So we're going to try to mow some of this and see how it does with it. Now you'll notice a difference in swaths, and I'll show you here in just a little bit the difference. So here's a good example. Here's from my disc mower. My disc mower kind of makes it a little bit more tighter, and the Haybine spreads it out. And you'll notice there's two big rollers inside of that thing, and those rollers are really squeezing the hay in order to make it dry faster. Now they work really good on stemmy stuff like first cutting hay or alfalfa or something like that to squeeze all the moisture out of the stems. But we're going to try it on the leaves here just to see how it works on that. Now this is just a little walkthrough video of what we're mowing here. We have some orchard grass coming up in some spots. It's mostly fescue as you go out through here. There's some Dallas grass wanting to come up right through here. I believe that's maybe Gama grass. Don't hold me to it though. But like I said, it's just a good grass mix through here. I have just a couple places of Johnson grass that's wanting to come up. No big deal, we'll get that mowed down before it goes to seed. It's hard to keep up with weed eating everything. Kind of like what I mentioned in the last video. It's real easy to miss a spot here or there. It's crazy looking at this. Just mowed this morning and already looking that dry. Now while he plays with that, I'm gonna go kind of trim up around the ditches and the fence lines. Hopefully we'll be able to tell a difference between this and that come whenever we time the bells. You can definitely tell that it makes a fluffier windrow, but also how much that this is dried this morning too. I'm hoping that's going to make some real good hay. Now, if your farm's anything like mine, we have hillsides for pasture and we have creek bottoms for hay. Now, the problem with creek bottoms is that creek bottoms have ditches that run through them to, of course, help drainage and everything come out. The problem is you have a lot of grasses like dog hair and you have some water weeds and stuff like that that want to come up in the ditches. So what I do is I still mow them to clean them up, and if someone wants them for goat hay or mulch hay or just anything like that, that's what I put up these ditches for. But you can kind of tell right here as you get out of the ditch how it gets into better quality hay. So while Aaron was mowing, I went ahead and unhooked Little Red from the cultivators and put my 4-basket coon tedder on, and we're going to see if we can't maybe make some 2-day hay. I'd really like for that to happen. That'd be pretty dang cool. Got to stay pretty dang cool in weather like this. We have been super humid the last couple days. By the way, if you still are running 6-volt on your little Ford tractors, you need the 12-volt. I love it. He's about done over there. Well, that's a wrap for today. Little Ford done good. Old Brown done good. We got all of our big field mowed, and I ended up, after I got done kicking, I ended up mowing some of that lower part down there, because even though we'd eaten the Johnson grass still is coming back real quick, so I just decided just to nip everything off around it and try to maybe get a better grip on it a little later on. Thank you all for watching the video. If you all like the videos, please like them, and please subscribe. Sure helps me out a lot. Thank you all.